Welcome back, guys. Thank you so much for watching my first part and coming back and watching this second part. I really hope you guys enjoy it, and here it is. Thank you. Talking of things sprouting and germinating, these are the chili seeds that I planted from a store-bought chili, and last time I showed you they were so tiny, but look how much they've grown in just a week. It is just it's amazing to see and watch and know actually how much food we can get from the food that we purchase from the shops. We can still grow stuff from all of that, and it doesn't take too much. It just takes a nice little bit of soil and watering, and maybe a little bit of talking. I don't sing to the plants because I can't sing very well, but I definitely talk to them all the time. So maybe it's just the conversation that's making them germinate better and pop up and want to be part of this world. I'm loving this strawberry season. I have been getting so many juicy, tasty strawberries from this garden. Like so many tasty strawberries. It's the one thing I really love about coming out here, no matter whether it's in the morning, middle of the day, evening. There is always something for us to snack on. It's just nice to walk around the garden and to be able to pick things and eat it as we're walking around, talking, as I'm showing friends the garden and stuff like that. We can just sit and eat and enjoy the company, or enjoy no one else's company but my own, and just sit out here and just soak it all up for what it is, and to appreciate nature and everything that I have here and that I've provided for myself and my family. This space is so special, and it does actually bring me a lot of life. I didn't realize it until I'd been so down, and I hadn't been out here for ages at the beginning of my adrenal fatigue. I just honestly I didn't have the energy. And then when I finally got a little bit of that energy back, it was like that was the first place I wanted to go. I wanted to come out into the outdoors and enjoy the garden for what it was, even though I hadn't been caring for it. It had been caring for itself, and I was still able to enjoy the hard work that I put in beforehand, that was still sustaining while I was down and out, and that really made a difference. And coming back and making these YouTube videos for you guys and being back out in my garden is actually giving me a new lease on life, and just giving me that little bit of extra energy that I need to be able to get through and enjoy the days. I know there's always things to do out here, and there's never not been. I also try not to put a huge emphasis on the fact that there is lots to do out here, because I want to show you guys that even if you are working full-time, because when I started this garden, I was working full-time. I was working pretty much 7 days a week, yet I still had the time to come home and just do little bits. It's not doing everything at once that matters. It's just doing that little bit by little bit every day or every week, just a subtle change. And that's how the big things come about, because when we first started, all I had was that chili patch. Where the chili bed is now, that's all I had. That's all I started with, and we slowly built up one bed at a time, slowly, and over 6 years, it just came up in my Facebook memories that it was 6 years ago this month that we purchased this property. And when we came here, there was nothing here. There was the house, and that was it. The rest of it was bare land, and the amount that we've done in 6 years is just incredible. Like I was saying, this is 6 years worth of life here, that it's all happened slowly. It didn't happen in the first week and then I've just maintained it. It has been 6 long years that we've done a little bit by little bit to make a tiny change every day, every week, every month, every year, to get to where we are now, and to be almost at where I envisioned when we very first saw this property. I knew exactly what I wanted and how I wanted it. And I mean, it took us 5.5 years just to get the mulch down. We put in the garden beds, and I always knew that I wanted to mulch this area so that it was a dedicated growing section and we didn't have to push the lawnmower between all the garden beds, because that takes up a lot of time and it's fiddly, and we wanted to minimize that. And let's face it, we can't eat grass, so let's put some wood chip down and we can plant things in the wood chip to then be able to eat. But also my vision of the wood chip is, over the years, as it breaks down, I can then use that broken down wood chip and compost straight into the garden beds, and then we can just bring in more wood chip. So it's an overall plan of, I've got my compost bins, but now I have the wood chip as well, and so we can produce more compost and more self-sustainability here of ourselves, and just get in loads of wood chip to then relayer the area. And it's making the soil healthier, which will make my plants healthier, which will make us healthier in the long run as well, because it's a cycle of life. And that's just the beauty of being able to do these things for ourselves. We know what's going into it and how it's being produced, and just to know that it's coming from a place of sustainability and no chemicals, it's really heartwarming to me. I love doing it, and I love the fact that I can bring this to you guys and show you that it is simple and you can do it even if you have a full-time job, or even if you don't have a yard this big and you've got something smaller. We have our bathtubs that we've got stuff planted in, and that you can utilize a whole heap of different things. So if you're renting, you could find yourself a couple of bathtubs and make a couple of stands and plant in that, because when you have to move, if you have to move, all you've got to do is take the soil out and take it to the next place, and you're done. And there's so much that we can do, even if we don't have a huge amount of time or we have a huge amount of space. We can still do all these little things to just try and make the planet and ourselves a better place. Now that I've just given you my heartfelt of anybody can grow a garden and enjoy a garden and enjoy the foods from the garden, thought I'd get back to showing you the garden. I decided to plant a few more sunflower seeds just here. It is next to the avocado and the strawberries. I think it'll do quite nicely because it gets a fair bit of the later sun. Not necessarily a huge amount of morning sun, but it gets a fair bit of the later sun. And as I turn around, this is my daikon radish bed. How much has that all grown, guys? Like, in a week, it is just... I came out here from one day to the next. One day I could see parts of the garden bed and the dirt and stuff, and then I come out the next day and it is just chockers. I can't see anything, and it's so wonderful. Like, there's so much food there that I can preserve and eat and roast and just throw into salads, and I just know that I'm going to be nourished and it's going to be fantastic. My poor little capsicum seeds that are down here have been shadowed out a little bit, so I plucked off some leaves to allow the sun in, so hopefully they can germinate, because they haven't really taken off too much further than the last video I showed you. But the one that overwintered and is still thriving, has a baby capsicum on it with more flowers coming through. So we're going to start being able to eat these capsicums, and then hopefully all those other plants germinate nicely and grow nice and strong, and I can really get into growing capsicums. I haven't ever really done it in the past. I've never found a variety that grew easily here, and I knew there was, because if I can grow chilies, I can grow capsicums. They're the same family. So this year I'm really focusing on capsicums and different tomatoes. I'd never really grown different zucchinis. I'd always stuck with the I think it's just called the black zucchini, the dark green, the ones that you see in the store all the time. They're the only ones that I'd ever really planted, and I've never done very well with zucchinis. So let's see how these ones go with the yellow. And the seeds that I planted, they're a lighter green with a stripe on it. So they're a different zucchini as well. I'll put the name of the seed on the screen here for you. So I'm really wanting to get into some different things that you really don't see at the shops, and get that diversity happening, because a good gut microbiome is good diversity on your fruits and vegetables that you eat. Yep, guys, this one I decided to get down on the ground for, only because it's such a tiny little plant at the moment, and it's a plant that I have grown here before and didn't have any success at all, but I really wanted to try it again. It is called the Cape gooseberry. Now, the interesting thing about the Cape gooseberry is it's known by many different names. It's also known as a ground cherry, but a lot of you don't know that when the fruit of a Cape gooseberry, once it's dried, is actually called in the shops inkberry. And I originally fell in love with inkberries when we were traveling around Australia, and I had them for the first time and went, oh, they're really nice. They're kind of tart but sweet, and I really loved just chewing on them, and they were really nice. So I'm hoping I bought this plant, and there was 2 in it. I've got one here, and then I put one over into another bed. I thought I'd spread them out and put them in 2 different spots. So send me good growing wishes for these ones, because I'd really love them to produce mightily, and for me to be able to maybe just even dehydrate a few myself and see what happens. But I'm really keen on actually eating them fresh as well. We'll see. I'll keep you updated. All right, now that I'm up from laying on the ground, that's just the quick update on the garden and the few things that have changed here in this past week. I'm hopefully going to get in. Not today. I'm going to rest for the rest of the day, because like I said in the beginning of this video, it's been a very tough week for me, and I'm feeling extremely exhausted. But I really enjoy doing these videos at the moment. I actually really enjoy doing these videos full stop, and it is something that I don't want to negotiate on anymore. I negotiated on it for so long, for 8 months of not doing them, 12 months of not doing the videos, and I don't want to negotiate on that anymore. So I'm going to continue bringing you updates on the garden and different things that I'm doing in the kitchen, and just general stuff on my lifestyle. This is my lifestyle. I enjoy my garden. I love doing it. I enjoy bringing it to you guys to show you that things don't have to be hard and difficult. You can actually do all these things simply and easily, and it doesn't have to take up a lot of your time. And I just want to get that message out to you guys, that that it is possible, even if you're working a full-time job or if you're working part-time, you can still do these things if that's what you love doing. And I want to show you guys how to do that in the most simplest, easiest way. I'm not one to want to do things the hard way. Why do it a hard way when you can do it an easy way? So big hugs until next time, guys. Thank you so much.